How we doing, YouTube? Stevie here. Oh, it is October 23rd. October 23rd. And we are just getting rolling. This is Monday afternoon. Monday, I'm still sitting in the driveway. This is Monday afternoon. Usually I'd have 1,400 in the bank by now. I ain't even turned a wheel. Well, that's not exactly true. My truck is parked in the corner of the yard and I moved it over into the driveway, so I moved that far, but otherwise I haven't moved very far. I just got word when my trailer's going to be to Markham tonight, so that's what I've been waiting for. I didn't have in Evansville this morning. Well, I could have had one, but I was off most of last week, all but one day. I only made one trip last week. Had an air leak in the truck, and it took a little bit to get it tracked down. About 500 gallons of soapy water and a bunch of other rigmarole, and we finally got it figured out. A week ago Monday, I didn't have a load, so I didn't leave till Monday afternoon. And then when I did get rolling, when I was coming back from Evansville, this truck, the air system wasn't quite right. It was having trouble building air pressure, it seemed like, and I was a little heavy, but not real heavy, but usually my loads aren't 22,000 at the heaviest, and this one was in the 30s, so it wasn't like over 40, it was just heavier than normal. And I learned on these, I don't know how the Kenworths are, but on these Peterbilts, 2019 Peterbilts, the airbag system for the cab and for the airbags for the truck, they're kind of on their own system. And if the main air tanks, if that pressure drops below about 105, 110, it shuts off those airbags, because you don't want to lose too much air in the tanks, because that's what makes the clutch work. I don't know if it makes the transmission work or not, but it makes the clutch work for sure. And that way you don't lose all your air and your clutch don't work. That'd be no good. Like if you used to blow a bag or something like that. So I was going down the road, and I would notice when it would get down to about 110, and it was having trouble. It would never build up to the 140 that it normally does. But I would notice the airbags drop like this, and the cab and the truck, and then as the air built back up, they would build back up. And like, what the heck? And I noticed it a week or so ago. It did it a little bit, but it would just do it once in a while. It wouldn't do it all the time. Well, now it was doing it a lot. And the other thing, that when that happens, it makes your driveline go out of whack. So you hear them, the universal, you hear that grind in that universal a little bit for the drive shaft, because you've changed the pitch. And I didn't notice if it was under load, but if it was idle and slowing down or something like that, you could hear them make a little noise, which you don't want that, because these are not greasable on these new trucks. I think when they replace them, they're greasable, but they're not replaceable otherwise, or greasable, I should say, otherwise. So I'm thinking I might want to have them changed pretty soon, because the old girl's got 572,000 miles is what I got on it now. So anyway, over the next, so I got home Tuesday night, and I didn't take another load because I wanted to get this looked at, because it wouldn't have passed inspection if I got stopped. It leaked too much air. It would never pass inspection. Not to mention, I don't want to drive it if it's not right. And luckily my local shop that I like to take it to was not. They're always busy. Let me say it that way. They're always busy, but they were able to squeeze me in, because their shop rate, I'm looking at it right now, $125 an hour. And when I was down in Vincennes last week, or 2 weeks ago, whenever that was, 3 now probably, getting that water line fixed that broke under the cab. They were like 140, I think. And they did a great job. I got no complaints. If you're ever down there and need something fixed down by Vincennes, go to the Volvo dealer, Volvo Mac dealer in Vincennes. Vomac, I think they call it. They are exceptional. The shop is, anyway. I've never bought anything from them, but everybody down there was very nice. And the shop did a great job for me. I don't know if I did a video about that. I need to get into that. But anyway, so I had the truck up here last Wednesday. I go over to my local shop, and they said, yeah, we might be able to squeeze in and take a look at it. That shouldn't be a federal case. And I had to have a wheel sensor changed, which has been bad for a while. They just haven't changed it. Not a long while, but a little while. Because my cruise wouldn't work, and I had my lights on my dash. And I don't like lights on the dash. So I had a wheel sensor that I changed. And that wasn't very expensive. It was like $80 for that part. And like I said, they're $125 an hour. So they did that. And then there was a airline for the cab mounts under the cab there somewhere, that when I was spraying my soapy water, I couldn't. It was inside another thing. But it must not have been completely, because anyway, it rubbed a hole in two different spots. It had two little holes in two different spots. Well, one was pretty big, and the other one, that line's only about as big as a pencil lead, maybe a little bigger. And they fixed that, and they said that should make it a whole lot better, which it did. And they said, but we noticed that on the leveling valve, it felt like maybe it was leaking when it was moving. It wasn't leaking out of the bottom, but it felt like maybe when it moved, maybe it leaked a little bit. They said, so maybe that seal was getting bad where the little arm goes in to make the leveling valve work. So, but they didn't know if they didn't change that, because I was going to try to work. I was trying to go back to work if I could. And I said, oh, I can change that on my own. It's right there in the back, easy peasy. Which I did. And it was, I forget how much it was. It wasn't terribly expensive. 120 or something. Oh, no. I lied to you. $251 for that leveling valve. And then I'm already at 8 minutes. I got to wrap this up. And then I went to get loaded, and actually I didn't change the leveling valve first. I went and tried to get loaded, and when I went to get loaded, when I hooked to the loaded trailer, it wouldn't even build 100 pounds of air pressure. It was a mess. And they had changed those airlines to move the airbags directly to the tank, because they thought that would work better. Well, then I realized why Peterbilt did it that way, because then you can't move. So I had to cancel that load, and then I ended up getting coming back. I picked up that leveling valve. I changed the leveling valve that next morning, because by now it was nighttime. And then the next day they changed an airbag, because they thought there was an airbag leaking a little bit, and I'd seen a few bubbles too. And then I had sprayed soapy water on everything, and they said it looks like maybe some of them other airbags might be bubbling just a little bit. And but they couldn't quite tell. So we just ended up changing all the airbags, the leveling valve, because it was there, it was in the shop. It's just as easy to do it then. Like I said, it's a 2019 with 572,000 miles. We'll change them all. Now I don't have to worry about it. So the truck was down for practically a week, all but a day of it. And it was $1,771 to get the airbags fixed, or the air leak fixed. And then a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I put another $1,700 in steer tires. And then a week before that is when that water line broke down there. So that's what the old Lone Mountain truck has cost. But it hasn't cost me hardly a dime all summer, so or for the whole year. So that's really the first money, for the most part, it's ever cost me so far. So I'm still been really, really good. So God bless everybody. We're about 10 minutes. We'll talk again soon.